Hello there. Since David Cameron decided that the UK was so rich, this country has been handing out 0.7% of its gross national income every year on foreign aid. All this sounds so woolly and heartwarmingly fuzzy, doesn't it? Until you realise that it amounts to over £13 billion a year and it gets spent on just about anything as long as it is spent. While other domestic departments face cuts, the foreign aid budget just keeps increasing because it is tied directly to the economic figure of GNI. No other department is ring-fenced in such a gold-plated fashion. We've all heard the stories of this so-called foreign aid money being spent on gyms, girl bands, hotels and private hospitals, as well as much of it ending up in tax havens for some reason. But it's worse than that. We're now told through a report from the National Audit Office that civil servants are rushing around like the headless proverbials in the last few weeks of the financial year trying to find a home for millions of pounds of aid. And these same civil servants get paid bonuses for handing it out. This is not good stewardship of public funds, and here was me thinking that the Tories stood for election on the premise that they were better with money than Labour. Well, this shambles blows that concept out of the water, doesn't it? Everyone keeps saying that the UK cannot afford to be the world's policeman, but since when did it become wealthy enough to become the world's social worker, doctor and nurse? Further, every single pound of this foreign aid has to be borrowed and interest paid back on it. The latest figures from the ONS puts our borrowing in April and May of this year alone after the start of the financial year at £16.1 billion. There you go. It takes nearly 2 months of national borrowing to fund foreign aid. Now, I'm not saying scrap foreign aid. I'm saying that while we have to borrow so much just to operate our country, we need to be more judicious with what we spend it on. Just because we can still borrow money doesn't mean we have to. I know that borrowing on a sovereign scale is fairly cheap at the moment, but when the tide turns, which it will, we will have to replace the present gilts with ones that have a higher rate of interest, and it will be our children and grandchildren picking up the tab for our largesse. It's about time our politicians got their reality heads on and pulled our foreign aid horns in to up to a figure of about £1 to £2 billion a year, not a proclamation that £13 billion a year must be spent come what may. Let's spend money on identifying ways of increasing trade between us and the poorer nations of the world. Trade, not aid, should be the mantra. Unless, of course, there really is a magic money tree in the garden of number 10. What are your thoughts on foreign aid? Please leave a comment below. Thank you. Please do like and share this video, and also subscribe to my channel. And when subscribing, please do remember to press on the little bell next to the subscribe button. That way you'll get an alert every single time I put up a new video. Thank you very much for watching.